TikTok compilation that might wake you up and change your reality. Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
To the 7-year-old girl who had to watch me and my brothers jump her daddy after school, I'm sorry. I know that was probably a traumatizing experience for you, but we kept asking you to stop bullying my daughter and you wouldn't listen. We sent letters home. We even had a meeting with you and your parents and you wouldn't listen. So now you know your actions have consequences. And since you too young to receive those consequences, you had to watch your daddy take those consequences. Get some therapy. You'll be all right.
Get some therapy, you'll be alright. This going on a t-shirt. Let me know how you feel about this. And the Mason necklace though? Lose it, bro. You're siding with the enemy. If you know, you know.
We're looking at video of clergy and children taking cover from a gunman in a church in Louisiana. We don't know for sure, but it's possible churchgoers may have stopped a mass shooting from taking place. A teenager with a rifle was stopped from entering a Louisiana church that was full of children. Churchgoers called police when the 16-year-old suspect tried to get in through the back door. There were about 60 children inside the Catholic Church at the time they were waiting to take their first communion. The church said in a statement that people confronted the suspect and took him outside before calling the police. Here's the announcement the church made.
Guys, just get a hold of your child, go slowly. We did apprehend a young man. He is in custody. He is in the police custody. Calm down and just get next to your child and go slowly.
Another crusade is needed. These cancers should be ended for good. This is the third one in 2 weeks.
Has discovered massive amounts of this thing in Antarctica, and it may trigger the first resource war on that continent. Most of Antarctica is considered protected land, and a treaty signed in 1959 banned any forms of commercial mining on the continent, but conducting scientific research is allowed. This has led to numerous countries, including the United States, France, and the United Kingdom, to set up outposts specifically for research purposes. However, it is these outposts that may lead to a war in Antarctica now that this important resource has been found, because the UK and other countries have laid territorial claims to parts of Antarctica where the outposts are, but Russia doesn't care about these claims, and they are basically meaningless because they are not recognized by numerous countries, including the US. But what Russia has discovered may change how the world handles Antarctica. A Russian research boat found oil reserves estimated to contain more than 511 billion barrels of oil. However, much of this oil lies under territories claimed by the UK. Because of this, these territory claims and Antarctica's mining ban will be challenged in the coming years.
America will definitely be trying to get in on this. The Colder War.
This lawyer must be stopped. He has gotten so many people's cases dismissed that people are saying he is literally creating Gotham City. Now, he says he's the best lawyer and he gets all of his clients to say it too, which I'm not going to lie. If you've seen some of the people's cases that he got dismissed, you would understand why they say that.
How much prison time are we looking at? 20 years. 10 years. 10 years, bro. 10 years. And how much prison time are you looking at? Over 100 years. And why am I the best lawyer? Got my case dismissed. You got my case dismissed. My case completely dismissed. Got my case dismissed. Got my case dismissed.
How the hell can you be facing 100 years and get your case dismissed? Jayoma simply knows something that other lawyers don't know. And a lot of these guys look so happy when they realize that they're free. But when you hear what they're accused of, you're gonna feel some type of way. For instance, go watch this guy's video on Jayoma's page and you'll see what I'm talking about. Jayoma is clearly built different. We've never seen a lawyer like this in real life. The closest comparison we have is Saul Goodman. And that fake, he's made up, he's a character. But Jayoma is real and he must be stopped.
This means he knows the loop of the law. That means he really studied the law. And that is scary.
You have African-American rappers saying N-word this and N-word that, but a Caucasian can't.
So say it.
Oh.
Say what? say the word you want to say. I'm not saying that I want to say it. I'm just saying that I can't.
24 hours.
Say it right now.
Of the city.
I will say it with you.
Okay, this is hypocritical. You know we can't.
Sure you can. This is America. Both of you. Say it. All right, I think we can move on.
What? Why move on when you want to say it? Both of you want to say it. Huh? All together, everybody.
So say it. That stare, man. I seriously thought this was a scene from a show or a movie. That man.
My partner canceled our wedding 2 days before it was supposed to happen.
I watched your video back to back several times. I cried with you. I felt your sorrow. One thing that stuck out to me is when you said that your ex hated when you posted on social media. You even felt guilty about posting this video on social media, even though you guys are no longer together. You want a life partner that allows you to express yourself. I watched some of your other videos. They are full of life and energy. They are beautiful videos of you exploring the world. You want to be with someone who will support that. I promise you, your future self is going to be grateful that he didn't follow through. So I'd like to say, congratulations. Your real life partner is still out there and he's looking for you.
That's right.
He will be supportive of not just your social media influence, but he and his family will be supportive of all that you do. So cry, let it all out, feel, and then get up off the couch and continue to live. You'll be the happiest you've ever been in no time.
I completely agree. She dodged a bullet. It's a blessing. She will look back and see this was a huge blessing.
Catholic priest says that the government has delivered the world to the top 5 demons under Satan.
Once it gets into a culture, then it becomes extraordinarily difficult to get out of. Our culture is in a particular precarious situation. Underneath Satan, there are what we call the 5 generals. The 5 generals are the 5 demons that are immediately hierarchically underneath Satan, and they are the ones who execute his plans. In some cases, they call it the table, because it's basically they get to divide up certain things. The first demon under him is Baal. Satan actually is the demon of impurity, but Baal is a demon of impurity. His principal function is to get cultures to succumb to impurity, primarily through fornication. Once the fornication sets in, from that arises the idea that sex should be recreational and that you can use it for any way you get pleasure. That's fine. So Baal lays the groundwork. We saw this in our own country. It was called the free love movement. The next thing he tries to do is, although in our country he managed to pull something off that was rather extraordinary. The next thing is after that, as we read from St. Paul, God delivers men and women up to their lusts, and men will start to want to sleep with men and women with women. Which basically means what? Once the spirit of fornication sets in, which by the way, I don't know if you noticed, in the New Rite, they removed from the spirit of fornication, deliver us from the litany of saints, at the very time that the free love movement gained ascendancy. What we pray for is what we get. You don't pray for it, you're not going to get it. After that, then what happens is the culture, the next 3 demons show up. The first is Asmodeus. He's the demon of homosexuality in men. Then there's the demon of Leviathan, which is the demon of homosexuality in men, but of the masculine kind. Ooh. These are the women who are heavy on the heels, we would say. Then there is the spirit of Lilith, which is the more seductive form of female homosexuality. After those have gained ascendancy in a culture, which by the way, if you look at the cultures, every single culture is pushed in this direction. Historically, not just ours, but historically, this is always the progression. Once you have fornication, you end up with contraception, and then the upshot of that is homosexuality and then abortion. Baphomet is the 5th one, and he's the demon of child sacrifice. Abortion. In our culture, think of this. They shot down the fornication laws, and so they delivered us into the hands of Baal. Then they had Roe versus Wade and delivered us into the hands of Baphomet. And then they allowed gay marriage, and so now our country politically is in the hold of the top 5 demons in hell other than Satan. They delivered us into their hands.
Thank you, priest, for spelling it out. Now that we know, we must turn and reject all the devil. Choose your side quick, folks. I'm on JC's side.
We now have a few pictures from inside the sign that the woman had been living in. So a 34-year-old woman was living above this grocery store for an entire year without being caught. She had a makeshift desk, a chair, a coffee machine, her food, a pantry, everything in this sign. She didn't bother anybody, she didn't hurt anybody, she didn't ruin any type of property, she minded her own business, which is how she got away with it for as long as she did. The store had hired contractors to work on something, and when they were on the roof, they noticed an extension cord. They followed the extension cord, and it led to the sign. Unfortunately, she had been using that extension cord to plug in her coffee machine and her computer and everything she was charging. And so then the contractors walk in and see this and decide to snitch on her. Apparently, the woman not only has a job, but she also has a car, and she just does not have a home. So the grocery store contacted the police come, she was trespassed, but she didn't get any charges. The police offered to help give her back all of her things, and they also gave her different resources of housing. She basically just apologized to them and went on her way, and they don't know where she went from there. The store also made a statement saying, you know, they're happy the way everything was handled, that the woman didn't get in trouble, and that we shouldn't have the housing crisis that we do have. Honestly, if this was my grocery store, I would have let her stay up there, except for we would have Pinterested up a little bit.
This is so sad. She's working and trying to survive and still cannot afford a home. I hope she's able to find housing.
Found me face down on my apartment floor. I was 10 minutes from death. My kidneys, my organs were failing. I had like 2 heart attacks. I mean, they told my parents to like basically, you know, prepare for my funeral. And once they, you know, found the tampon and they sent it to the lab, it came back as toxic shock syndrome.
I think as women, we are conscious of toxic shock syndrome. It's something you're told when you're in your teens and you first get your period, but no one actually takes it seriously or thinks that it's something that could happen to them.
Thousands of women that you will never hear about or see them or hear their stories or see their faces or know about their families have died, and died from using the product correctly. All of the name brand tampons or feminine hygiene products that we have today on the market are full of bleach, dioxin, chlorine, you know, even if it says it's 100% cotton, it's still sprayed with pesticides. And then again, we're putting that inside of us at such a delicate time. And it takes one of those toxins to get inside of your bloodstream and start acting like the flu, start shutting down your organs. It's lethal, it's dangerous. It is my goal, my life mission, to make sure that not only is this information out there, but women have these conversations amongst each other and create the dialogue and you know, check in with each other, because knowledge is key, and the more information that we know is power.
If you don't know, now you know.
5 deadliest film sets ever. Number 5, The Wizard of Oz. Yes, the snow was asbestos. Everyone knows that. But did you know the actors that played the Munchkins were extremely gropey and alcoholics? In fact, they borderline S.A.'d Judy Garland several times. The actress playing the witch caught fire during a scene and suffered severe and permanent burns. And Judy Garland was forced onto a diet of amphetamines and cigarettes so she would stay slim for the role. Also, the actor who played Toto the dog was paid more than any one of the Munchkins. Number 4, The Omen. Basically, the production was haunted. The crew's plane was struck by lightning 3 times. 2 locations they visited were bombed by the IRA. And the special effects consultant John Richardson was in a car crash that killed his passenger, and when he got out of the car, he had crashed by a sign that said Omen 66.6, and it was Friday the 13th. Ooh. Number 3, The Conqueror and how it killed 46 members of the crew. This film is a bit dated, you can tell, because John Wayne depicted a Mongol chief like this, but this film was shot downwind from a nuclear testing site. The director, the crew, and the key actors all developed cancer, which resulted in 46 early deaths. It was so bad that John Wayne's children visited the set for a single day, saw their dad in yellowface, and then both developed cancer, like immediately. Number 2, Raw. This movie was shot with 150 untrained lions, tigers, and other predators. Of course, there were many incidents. Tippi Hedren was bitten by a lion, needing 38 stitches. Melanie Griffith had her face mauled, needing 50 stitches. And the cinematographer was scalped by a lion. Before number 1, real quick, if you like like this, please drop me a follow. It really helps me out. Thank you. So number 1, the catastrophic Noah's Ark. The director was completely inexperienced in filmmaking. Regardless, he was given a huge budget and told to make something big. So when it came to the big flood scene in Noah's Ark, he said no to using miniatures, which is the standard for doing big set pieces like this. Instead, he and used 600,000 gallons of water. 3 extras drowned during the filming, another one needed their leg amputated, and dozens of others suffered broken bones and various injuries.
What about the Twilight Zone movie? 3 people literally got decapitated.
Is leaking information and stills from Epstein's hotel. Aubrey has left the country. This started out as a regular rap beef and has somehow cascaded into an episode of Law & Order SVU. Somebody tell me something.
It's crazy how quickly Diddy disappeared from the headlines.
Deleted scene in Midsummer. Really? They deleted it because they thought that people would view the movie different.
Why?
So the scene comes after the cliff scene. So remember that scene where
they jump,
the people get too old and now they have to sacrifice themselves? So right after that, there's this other ritual. And they only deleted it because they said it's
too disturbing?
Too disturbing, and it would cause some controversy.
Oh,
so
word.
They would stand around and this child would come up and be like, oh yeah, I'm sacrificing myself to the cult goddess. What they do is they tie her up and they put a big rock. So it's like one of those ship ones where
oh my god,
if they throw her into the lake, that she will sink.
Yeah.
And right before she does that, Danny, the main character, she goes, stop, don't do that. And remember in the cliff scene?
Yeah.
Where the other people on shrooms were like, don't jump, don't jump. Everybody around them were offended because they're like, oh, this is a cult thing we do, don't be disrespectful.
Yeah.
But when Danny said, don't throw them in, they're like, wait, no, stop everything. She might be right. We did kind of sacrifice enough. So it's a thing where it's like, the cult only wants white people with blonde hair and they would only accept, but everything else would be disrespectful. So the people that on the cliff, they were like black, they were like Latino.
Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyone seen this movie? I have. It's really disturbing. I don't recommend it.
All right, besties. So the NDA is up. So the NDA is up as of yesterday. So I signed the NDA. It lasted for 5 years. So I used to work in a very, very, very popular retail store, and we had an outlet branch. So I can honestly say the brand because the NDA is up. So I used to work for Balenciaga, and let me tell you one thing. So they have this rule. Any piece of clothing that goes to an outlet store or is being sold to a third party outside of Balenciaga, they had this person that was actually stitching arsenic inside of the clothing. So like alongside your clothes, he would stitch arsenic inside. Now, for those of you that don't know what arsenic is, it's a highly poisonous substance that not only could cause lesions on your skin, but it can cause cancer. So Homeboy's logic was basically, if you don't have the money to buy Balenciaga straight from the Balenciaga store and you have to get it from an outlet or a third party, then you don't deserve to wear it. So Homeboy took it upon himself to actually stitch arsenic inside of the stitching of the clothing. Not only of jeans, sneakers, and underwear, but of bathing suits as well.
What?
So while I was working there, it was like a whole big frenzy. It was like, whoa, like this is going on. This has to be swept under the rug, blase. So they had all of us sign NDAs. But my concern was, it's sad because like somebody saves up like $300 to buy some shirt from an outlet, you know, that's Balenciaga. And they're like, yeah, I finally got some Balenciaga. And then the whole time they're getting sick wearing the clothing. Because some sick elitist decided that if you can't buy Balenciaga straight from the stores, then you don't deserve to wear it. So I've been literally counting down the days because if you bought any Balenciaga from any third party, any Neiman Marcus, any Amazon site, anything like that, if you got it from an outlet, check the stitching, please. So we only realized because a customer came back in and she actually had a tear in one of her clothing, and she said that there was a powdery substance coming out of the clothing. So upon more investigation, they said, wait, something's not right here. They started investigating more and more and more. They found out that he did this to over 20,000 articles of clothing within his 10 years of working for them.
What?
So I said, I don't care. I'm going to let everybody know. So if you bought, once again, if you bought any Balenciaga item from any third party, Neiman Marcus, Amazon, if you could get it there, any third party, Macy's, anything, check it. And the craziest thing about it is that it was an American working abroad in Indonesia.
What?
In Indonesia. It was an American in Indonesia. So check your clothing. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.
What? That's crazy. I didn't know that we have a Balenciaga factory here in Indonesia. She might get got for this, but explain this to me. If you see something illegal and you're under a NDA, can you tell the police? Please drop a comment.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Get out of the way. Look at this.
Wow.
Somebody please explain. Camera. That is some kind of an artificial background, an artificial sky, yellow. Looks like wires maybe? Yeah, that's trippy. That's trippy. Hold up. Hold up, let me get another angle. Gotta see this. Look at this. Look at this. Somebody help me understand that. Somebody help me understand what the heck that is. Look at no, that's the sky's tripping. Big time. Big time, baby. Big time. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Get out of the way. Look at this. Somebody please explain.
Are you still trying to figure out who that really is? Even after my first video where I make a pretty convincing case that this is no coincidence. But if you're still not convinced, hang on to your seats because I got some new information and it all stems from this beautiful statue constructed in 1848. You see, that statue is actually a statue of Lucifer, and it's called the Genius of Evil. And when you look closely, there are some pretty unmistakable similarities between this statue and a certain statue in the NYC. Let's start by examining this chain attached to Lucifer's ankle. Could that be a symbol of being imprisoned in the bottomless pit for 1,000 years? And you probably have never noticed, but I sure did. A very similar chain attached to that Statue of Liberty. And when you look at the faces of those two seemingly unrelated statues, they sure bear an awful similar resemblance. And did you happen to notice what Lucifer was holding in his hand in that statue? A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-point crown? Well, have you ever noticed how many points are in the Statue of Liberty's crown? And did you happen to notice what type of fruit was hanging out in the bottom of that statue as well? And well, I really don't have to go here, do I? And although small, and at the very bottom of the statue, did you notice this torch laying on the ground? That torch that just also happens to bear a very similar resemblance? That torch that Lucifer, the light bearer, is often depicted with? Often depicted with right in plain sight? So much in plain sight that you probably look right past it and might even unknowingly be rooting for it? But nah, it's all just a coincidence. They just happen to look alike and have the same pointed crown and the same torch and the same association with an apple and the same chain. Just a big coincidence. Just the way this is all a coincidence too. No one really worships any fallen angels and pays tribute to them through characters that a lot of people look up to. Just like the Vatican would never actually call their telescope Lucifer. It's just all jokes. It's all for fun. It's all entertainment. But stay tuned for some more information on that. But like I said, this was all for shits and gigs, for your entertainment, because that's all I am. Satire and entertainment purposes only.
He's connecting the dot like a boss. Does this mean people working for the government are working for the devil? It's all by design, folks.
Show you a picture that gives me chills almost every single time that I look at it. So before I show you the picture, it's actually of this guy who's on the other side of the screen. His name is Matthew Crean. He was a father of 2 and he loved the outdoors. He loved to camp, and that is actually where this picture came from. It happened in Mount Hood. This is a national forest, and Matthew would take a trip here, a solo camping trip almost every single year. Things went off without a hitch. Everything was fine until this one trip. Right here at the top near Trout Lake, this is somewhere around the area where Matthew would normally camp. It is also the area where he went missing, but not before police police eventually turned up a photo. After a ground and aerial search, both of which were not successful, they eventually did find his phone, and there was one final photo on that phone, which didn't make a lot of sense. And before I show it to you, if these stories are of interest to you, make sure to go check out the show. But this was the photo that I wanted to talk about. Obviously, it's a motion shot. It would indicate that whoever took it, who we're assuming is Matthew, they were running. But running from what? In the background of the photo, it almost looks like there is somebody there with him in the woods. The photo was sharpened and the brightness was raised as much as anyone could without distorting it, and there is definitely someone who was in those woods.
I'm confused. He was running towards the scary figure, or he's holding his phone in a way that's recording behind him?
Something happened with Miss USA, we gotta get to the bottom of it. I don't know if I'm the man for the task, but I may be. Noelia Voigt behind me was the most recent winner of Miss USA back in August 2023. She was the first Miss USA to step down since 1957. This news was recently reported, and Noelia came out with her own statement, and this is where it gets a little bit weird. This is why I'm doing a little bit journalisming on it. In her statement where she resigned citing mental health, we'll get to that in a second, the first letter of every sentence, it spells out, I am silenced. Dun dun, I am silenced. I shouldn't be joking around about this. This could be serious. Now, the last three letters that start sentences are not circled because it's HIP. Now, maybe this is one big coinkydink, but here's the thing. I don't believe in coincidences. I never have. The HIP, I may need to get to the bottom of. That's one of the big questions here. Let's go to the mental health. If you search Miss USA on Google right now, it will say Miss USA steps down citing mental health issues. But people really locked in on this story are not really buying that. And I have my sources inside the pageant world. That's right. I have my sources inside the pageant world. I've been talking to them. I've been on the phone all day. And they were saying, hey, look at the comments. Look at what her friends are saying in the comments. They are saying they are proud of her for standing up for herself. They're saying things like standing with you and for you. That's Miss Wisconsin. Now, when Miss USA steps down, there's supposed to be somebody who steps up. There's kind of like second in command, third in command and whatnot. They've all said no. They're saying, no, we're not going to. There's no Miss USA right now. I know. I don't know how you're going to go about your day tomorrow, but there's no Miss USA right now. Another aspect of this which makes me go, is that she only has 3 months left of being Miss USA. You're supposed to do 1 year. And when you sign up for Miss USA, you know what it is. And you don't just become Miss USA. This isn't the 50s anymore where you put on a dress and you're like, oh my God, that girl from little town in Oklahoma, that's Miss USA. No, you do this since you're 4. I know people who coach 4-year-olds to be in pageants. And they get paid well, too. That's the beauty of America. But you know what you're getting into. And if you make it along enough to even compete in Miss USA, you want to be Miss USA. It's your lifelong dream. And even if you get there and it's not all that, you're going to stick it out for a year. But with 3 months to go, Noelia said, no, I can't anymore. The top comment on the Miss USA post is, for a title holder to step down this close to the end of the year, something must have been up with the organization. Now, what is up with the Miss USA organization? I don't know. This was a big decision from Noelia, and also all the other contestants not taking the slot and standing with her, quote unquote, that's a big deal. Also signals something's up. And just like I don't believe in coincidences, when there's smoke, there's fire. Now, maybe this fire isn't that big. Or maybe it is. Next Miss USA goes down in August. It'll be interesting to see how that goes, if there's any changes. If they do need somebody to come in there, a little entertainment, I'm available. I respect the pageant game. It takes a decade plus of work to get to this point. I'm not kidding, okay? I respect it. However, if you're messing with Miss USA, no good.
I saw another video that said the Miss USA social media people took away her access to post on them within the last month too.
My body count for the year so far is 220 people.
That was Annie Knight. So she is currently earning $200,000 a month off of OF. She previously was making $60,000 a year in a marketing job before she got let go because of what was her side hustle, but now is her job. But she has now started accumulating property because her long-term goal is to own enough property that she does not need to do this job. So let's take a look at how that could look for her. Currently, she purchased her first property in October 2023, a 3-bedroom property at $750,000, and in January of this year, she purchased an investment property for $695,000 with an income of $695 per week from the rental. So earning $200,000 a month, she's making an eye-watering $2.4 million a year. At the bare minimum, if she purchases 2 entry-level high-performing investment properties over the next 3 years, she can generate from the very beginning $72,800 per year in passive income, and at the end of those 3 years she could be generating this much in passive income. That's pretty much at the bare minimum, so she could make her dollar go a lot further as well. Annie, if you need a buyer's advocate, please reach out to me. I would love to assist.
At what cost to her? This is life on easy mode. Morals are priceless. Remember that.
So crazy how many people have looked at me like I'm crazy because of my little Celtic salt container. I have it pinned up with the rest of my keys and I need a refill. But I just take a little pinch of this, let it melt, just like Barbara said. Then I take my water and drink. But I've gotten so many crazy looks from people because they must think it's like some type of other substance. It's just so funny because I've gotten looks from people outside when I'm dressed in civilian clothes, but it's specifically when I'm dressed in my uniform. So just beware if you plan on getting this little container. You might get crazy looks too.
Your name ain't even your name no more. Your name ain't your name no more. I don't know what they calling you. I ain't in that dark room, sitting at that round table, calling your name out. But I know your name ain't your name no more. Your name, I don't know what your name is, but your name ain't your name no more. They ain't calling you by name. It's too many people that let your name roll off their tongue and got repercussion from it. Your name ain't your name no more. Your name ain't your name no more.
Right.
They done pulled too many hairs off your head or hairs off your beard. They done pulled too much lint off your clothes, thread off your clothes. They done put too much in your food. You done drank too much. Your name ain't your name no more. They calling you by another name. I don't know what they calling you, but your name ain't your name no more. Humans got names. You ain't a human no more. You ain't human. You are something that is not of this world to them. And I can guarantee you this, they ain't calling you by your name no more.
We are not of this world. We are a peculiar people. Royalty. Don't go anywhere because we still have fire clips after fire clips back to back.
Dear world, I have been told by many that the releasing of this truth may pose certain challenges in my life. There are many institutions that this truth will be viewed as disruptive to their system of profit and gains. I want to live a happy and peaceful life, and I pray for longevity. Not just for me, but for our entire species. Know that I would never harm myself nor anyone else for that matter. Nevertheless, if my life has to face certain challenges so that this planet can be saved, please do not let these trials that I may have to face be in vain, and pray for me as I am praying for you. Sincerely, Terrence Deshaun Howard, May 25th, 2019. Just so that it would always be known, I should never walk out there alone or harm myself. So if something happens to me and someone says that he committed but he did, no. I would never, ever do that. Know that somebody else did that. And I'm not going to allow that to happen.
He released a new math concept and broke several theories. God protect Terrence Howard.
Do you remember when Chrissy Teigen deleted over 60,000 tweets after she was one of the people named on the flight logs of Jeffrey Epstein? I feel like she's feeling really good right about now because nobody's mentioning her name, but so this is some of the tweets that she deleted. I don't know how she wasn't investigated. I don't know how she's living her best life now with like 45 million followers. I don't really understand how this wasn't a bigger thing. I don't know how this can be explained. I feel like this was really swept under the rug and she made all these excuses and like her fans like kind of bought it. I just, how can you explain these tweets? This was in front of our faces the whole time, and her whole thing was like, oh, I deleted this because people were coming after me and calling me this and calling me that, but it's like, this is actually things that she has tweeted. Like, this is not anything made up. She openly admitted to writing this stuff. She wasn't even trying to hide it.
She and John Legend are definitely in all that dark Hollywood stuff, for real. Oh, don't forget about Lena Dunham too.
Going to admit that all of these beauty standards is linked to men liking children. The shaving, looking as young as possible, and all of that other stuff is linked to them liking children. And the reason why I'm asking this question, and matter of fact, when are we going to stop participating in these beauty standards? Because the more I look into the Drake hanging out with the man baby theory, and yes, he has a name. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want y'all to be as traumatized as I am. Okay. The theories behind the footage of Drake being with that man, I think he said he's 24. But he looks like a baby. And we know what was in that bag. And I read the theories. And when I say that I don't want to be here, take me somewhere else.
What?
Is the alien still here? Because what the f? Can we stop? I think we got enough information. I don't want to know anything else. And then they said that he fled the country. Y'all were lusting after a man. I read a comment that said, Kendrick said that one of them something and the other two is tired of your lifestyle. And I read a comment that said that one of the two is that man baby. What lifestyle? I know what lifestyle. I read and then we're still waiting on a Diddy situation and all of the people that's going down with him. Why do any of us want to be celebrities again and famous? Is the money worth it at this point? I just want enough money to pay the bills and buy groceries. Matter of fact, yeah.
Have you guys seen the video of girls who work as waitresses comparing tips when they wear their hair in pigtails versus other hairstyles? That says enough.
What's happening right now is much bigger than Hollywood going down, or even corrupt billionaires all over the world. What's happening right now is a total technological revolution all over the world, where they no longer have power. And this is how it works. You see, for centuries, tyrants with large amounts of money made power moves so that they could get more and more power and money on their side. They've done this before over and over again because they've had a playground to play in. Because our world was built upon leaders, middlemen, and centralized authority. But not anymore. Welcome to a new decentralized world where we no longer need these middlemen, aka greedy billionaires, the 1% that owned and controlled most of our world. It's called Web3 and it's simple. It's the next level of the internet. It's a bunch of new technologies that will empower the people of the world. Technologies that they never told us about because they never wanted us to have. Web3 will create a new world where we can transact peer-to-peer and talk instantly to each other. And we're already doing it here on TikTok. Make a video that's important and share it. And we also have an AI that runs fast behind the scenes, pushing out the videos and the data that we find most important. You see, it's very advanced, it's very fast, and it's very logical. And they never liked logic because they were liars. They were schemers. They were manipulators. We're also going to have a whole new type of economy, an economy that actually worked for us, a tokenized economy where we can exchange several different types of cryptocurrencies, smart contracts, immutable contracts, stored on the blockchain for no one to ever tamper or mess with ever again, with quantum level cybersecurity. All this new technology allows us to transact fast in a new peer-to-peer, kind of world. And while that makes middlemen like leaders and shady politicians obsolete, and it takes the focus off of Hollywood and puts it back on the people of the world so that we can talk about what's really important to us. And this economy creates an economy that works for the people. In fact, cryptocurrencies are very intelligent. We can transact peer-to-peer with no banks. And also, inherent in each cryptocurrency is some equity in the company that it represents. So if you buy a cryptocurrency in a company or you use it or exchange it, you're automatically an investor. So no more capitalism, no more top-heavy capitalists taking most of the money at the top and leaving the workers with just a paycheck every week. If you work for a company and you're paid in cryptocurrencies, you also have equity in that company. And because we have a way to talk to each other instantly, we can now talk about products that actually help us and get rid of the ones that don't. The end of needlessly buying more and more stuff is over. The end of greedy consumerism is over. It's a new era for humanity. The end of shady politicians, shady Hollywood people, monetary system that doesn't work for the people, a democracy now where we can talk to each other all over the world, a world where we can collaborate and build together, a world where the people hold the power. Because darkness eventually falls. Because when you lie, steal, and manipulate, your time is up. And it's now time for the people to show you the truth.
Imagine losing
Blockchain technology, folks. Also support your local farms and businesses.
$20 billion. That's what's happening in California this week, where under Gavin Newsom's watch, the state spent $20 billion over the last 5 years to combat homelessness. And the number of homeless people increased. So when auditors asked to see where the money was spent, no one had any idea. It turns out the state's homeless council just threw money at homeless nonprofits, but didn't track how much or how the nonprofits spent it. So lawmakers demanded a hearing, and it was a hot mess. Watch.
What's the money been spent on?
LACH is working on finalizing its HAP annual report and hope to have that published in short order.
Why is it taking 3 years to get data? The system was implemented in 2021.
So HCIS began in 2021. It wasn't fully implemented until 2022.
Okay, that's still 2 years ago. So why is it taking so? I mean, you're the one that said you're urgent. I don't know. Maybe my sense of urgency is different from your sense of urgency. You can't tell us at all how many people we've helped.
No, they can't. It's like a car accident. You don't want to look, but you can't stop.
When you're talking about what happened in those 2 years, a lot of that is grantees using a data system they'd never used before, getting used to it, getting substantial technical assistance, us getting back bad data, needing to go have further conversations, and then needing to go work on cleaning up that data.
So they lost $20 billion because of technical difficulties?
So they embezzled it? Repercussions? Not likely. Biggest U.S. heist in history. Seems like a lot of non-profits are profiting. Let me know how you feel about this, folks.
There's a new study out tonight about the water in plastic water bottles. The National Academy of Science says the bottles may contain at least 100 times more microscopic pieces of plastic than previously thought, an average of 240,000 nanoplastics per bottle. Scientists say there is not enough evidence to detail any long-term health risk. A spokeswoman for the International Bottled Water Association says the study lacks, quote, standardized methods.
Remember how they pushed us away from glass to aluminum and plastic?
To make another video, I had to.
You know, a lot of people would say, man, Jesus never changed. Well, a lot of us forget that Jesus was a product of the culture as well. Like, he came in as a Near Eastern Palestinian Jew. He spoke Aramaic. He literally embodied the culture. He became the culture to reach the culture. Like, it's crazy to think that, you know, he changed the culture. And I get it. He did change the culture, but he also became a part of the culture.
Jesus came in and said, you must be born again, different than what the culture was teaching. Jesus came in and said, I'm the only way to the Father. No man comes to the Father but by me. Jesus proclaimed that he was greater than Abraham. He was before Abraham. They tried to kill him over that. Jesus came into the culture and said, I'm the Messiah, the Son of the living God. 12 apostles came out. They put them all in jail. All the people that was a part of Jesus' culture, they tried to put him in jail. They murdered, they killed him. He wasn't a part of the culture. He never became part of the culture. He was always countercultural. And the thing is, the people wanted truth. They came to Christ Jesus. They came to him gathering around. He's preaching at the Sea of Galilee. They're gathering around. Masses of people. Masses of people hear that Jesus is coming into town. Jesus is different. He on another level. These people ain't the same. What they worshiping, the gods they worshiping, had nothing to do with Jesus Christ. He come into town. If I could just touch his garment. Jesus is coming to town. Can he heal people? Lazarus is dead. Call for Jesus. He wasn't a part of the culture. He wasn't trying to be a part of the culture. He was from above.
Yep. Jesus was a Palestinian Jew? What? Palestine did not exist back then. It was Israel. Israel gave the land to the people of Palestine. But it's really the Israel territory. He was not the culture. He was God.
2 men are alive after being suddenly attacked by a bear while driving in Japan. It happened while they were foraging in Hokkaido on April 28th. You can see this footage released by the police. It appears as though the men's car had come between a mother bear and her cub. That causes the mother bear to attack. The police also released a picture of the car after the attack, showed the windscreen partially shattered. The men drove on after the incident.
What? There's bears in Japan? I didn't know that.
Sending 41,000 emails, 350 voice messages, 744 tweets, 48 Facebook messages, and 106 letters.
That's simply not true. If somebody was sending somebody 41,000 emails or something, they'd be doing how many a day? Lots.
Well, they'd be obsessively contacting.
Yeah, absolutely no. Absolutely no.
What did you send him?
None of that's true. I don't think I sent him anything.
You never sent him anything?
No. I think there may have been a couple of emails exchanging, but that was it. Just jokey banter emails.
Netflix have said that these details are the real ones. That this is exactly
completely incorrect.
So you're denying sending anything to him?
There may have been a couple of emails.
Text messages?
No.
Facebook messages?
No.
Did you tweet him?
I may have done years and years ago.
You actually tweeted him numerous times.
No, it wasn't numerous. It was about 18 tweets there or 14
It's quite a lot to someone who's not that well known.
But we were all friends. You know, it was banter.
Right, but it establishes you were contacted. That's in public.
Yes, I mean, this
Did you write him letters?
Public, no. I think when I saw the rape interview, that's actually incorrect. What I said there, when I saw that in the Guardian, I said, "What a shame! It's not your fault." Something like that.
You did write to him.
One later.
So, you would say you only sent him a handful of emails. Yeah. You never texted him.
No.
You tweeted him 18 times. You think? You never sent a Facebook message.
That's
and
right.
you wrote him one letter.
Yeah.
So why have they got all these details here which are supported?
Who is they? Netflix.
Who has sent all these things?
Correct. So, I'm sorry?
Who has sent all this stuff to him?
I've no idea. I think he's probably made it up himself.
I mean, you could prove, I guess, quite easily it wasn't you.
Correct.
Because it'd all be on your computer.
Yeah, correct. That's right.
Would you be happy for someone to look at that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
What do you have? What technology do you use?
Right, what technology do I use? A very, very old smartphone just now because the other one packed up a week before moving. That's it.
Because they're all sent from an iPhone.
Yes, so...
They believe it wasn't actually an iPhone ever being used.
Meaning what?
Meaning that someone was hiding the fact that they were actually not using... They were pretending it was from an iPhone.
I don't really understand that.
People can mask where they're sending stuff from.
Okay, right. I'm not Technology Whiz Kid of the Year. I wasn't doing that either.
I mean, obviously, when you make such an emphatic denial, central point of the story, you're basically accusing both him but also Netflix of lying about it.
I am.
And that's pretty defamatory.
It's not defamatory if it's true.
No, it's defamatory that they've been to you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I misunderstood there. Yes, exactly. Exactly. I don't see how anyone could do 41,000 emails and all this kind of stuff, you know.
I don't know how much you know about technology, but are you aware that if it was you sending those emails, it would be very easy for the police, for example, to work out exactly where they come from? The IP address would reveal that.
Yes, I understand that, and it stays on forever. But the point is, this was years and years ago. We were congratulating him.
But it would all still be there.
Yes, I understand that, yeah.
And if you sent 41,000 emails...
This is just a lot of rubbish. Yes, so that should be stored there.
Well, they'd be there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got them.
He's not got 41,000 emails. That's over a year.
Well, according to you, there's only a handful.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, how long would that take someone to type up?
How many do you think you sent him?
A handful.
What does that mean? How many?
Listen, 10.
10 emails?
Not 41,000.
Right, there's a massive disparity between the two.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if it's not you that sent all this, then clearly Martha cannot be you.
Yes, Martha cannot be me because there are a number of allegations that have been put to me by journalists that are simply not true. There's a whole play. It's not just the emails. There's a sexual assault in the canal. There's...
But if the police looked at this, and if you sue, for example, then this will go to a court of law, and then on discovery, people will look into all this. The phone company will be asked about evidence of all the text messages. The internet providers will provide all the backup for the emails. Facebook will be asked about the Facebook messages, and so on.
This reminds me of that show, Baby Reindeer.
Judgment Day is at hand.
Can I help you? We're having a sale on Bible magnifying glasses.
Be gad. Do you have any books on the rapture?
Yes, this one is 15% off.
I'll take everything you got.
And would you like to take advantage of our Friends of Flanders discount?
No, thank you.
Homie, you didn't touch your second dinner tonight. And you're reading books. Word books. What's going on?
Marge, the rapture is nigh. These books will help me figure out how nigh. This whole deal is scientifically proven. The book of Revelations has 404 verses. Add the number of people at the Last Supper, minus the number of Filipinos in the Bible, and you get 3:15 p.m. May 18th. That's when the rapture will begin.
May 18th? That's 1 week from today.
A week? That's 7 days from now. The world will end next week. Spend your children's college fund. Thaw that turkey now.
This is Kent Brockman reporting live from downtown Springfield, where overweight doomsayer Homer Simpson is predicting the world will end next Wednesday. Homer, what turned you from sad drunk to mad monk?
Funny story, Kent. It's the end of the world. God loves you. He's gonna kill you.
Well, we have 30 seconds left. Any other cuckoo yip yap?
Oh, here's one. Revelation 6:13. Just before the rapture, the stars will fall to the earth. All you hippies out there might wanna... for that one.
There you have it, folks.
Here is America's favorite waste of taxpayer dollars, the Blue Angels.
What the? The Blue Angels? I thought we were getting Charlie's Angels. Oh, God, we're going down. I don't want to die next to Kathy Griffin. The stars are falling to the earth. Just as you predicted. Well, that's our show for tonight. I'd like to thank all the very talented people who broke my fall. To all the fans of Los Lobos, mucho condolences. Good night, everybody.
10, 11, 12, 13, 12 apostles. But Jesus was at the Last Supper too. This changes everything. 5 by 7. Don't forget to carry the 666. Stupid family won't even come to my rapture. I went to Lisa's school play, which had serious pacing problems. 3, 2, 1. Oh, I'm wrong again! I'm nothing but a big fat...
No.
Wait, before you go, there's one thing I gotta know. What happened to my family?
Why didn't we listen to Dad? The worst part is I'll never see my Colby again.
That's the worst part? Then I'm not doing my job.
Deus Ex Machina.
Judgment Day is not coming in 3 days. Only God knows, not the Simpsons. Oh, I just realized stars are falling, blocked out celeb strand. Let me know how you feel about this, folks.
It's not even summer yet, guys. It's not even summer yet. The Vatican is preparing guidelines for apparitions and other supernatural events. So if demon faces weren't enough, now you have rules just in case you see some real-life ghosts and spirits coming from the Roman Vatican Church themselves. Because, you know, we can trust what they say. It's not like they're just taking your money, hiding thousands of years of information and knowledge in their Vatican basement, secret elites making you pray to a man who does nothing for you, putting out these statues and these things like this. This is nothing. This is just art, man. People are bugging. This means nothing. Oh, this? That's just an inverted picture face to face. It's not like we're not seeing anything here, worship or whatever. Symbolism runs deep, and they understand that Yahushua, that Jesus Christ is coming back. His time is near. So they want to go ahead and confuse you. There will also be a fake second coming, so you have to be prepared for that. Well, what do we do, RPM? You pray, you read the Bible, and you understand the whole world will see it. We won't be here. We'll be raptured away. But I'll take it with a grain of salt whenever the Vatican says something, and think, why are they telling you?
Get right with God, folks. Accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior. Alright, folks, I'm going to end our video with this coming clip. Be kind to each other. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And don't forget to like or dislike so I can make better content. You can also buy me coffee or support me on Patreon if you like. The links are in the description below. Thanks for watching. Peace. And God bless. Huh?